Just a couple of quick updates for CIC. It's been a very busy year. I'm not going to jump into kind of the background of CIC because I think most of the people joining us today are familiar with our program, our education and mentoring, financing, and networking program. So I'll dive into more specifically what's new and what we've been up to in the last, 10 to 12 months or so. So last year was an incredible year for CIC. We grew significantly in a lot of ways. Probably the most significant way we grew was our loan program. Up until about 2018, we had done about 400,000 in loans. And then last year in 2019, we did another 400,000 in loans. That's both, and as a part of that, we were able to double the total size of our loan fund. That included the city of Charlottesville creating the Business Equity Fund, which is a fund specifically designed to help entrepreneurs from socially disadvantaged backgrounds. We added to it through additional grants through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Albemarle County. So our loan fund's really been taking off in the last couple of years. Whereas, as recently as probably 20 months ago, we had, 200,000 in loans outstanding. And today, for a few other different reasons, we are actually now over 650,000 outstanding, and that number is going to grow very rapidly in the coming weeks as well. So our loan fund was a small part of CIC when we started, even though it was the original idea. The core of our program has not changed beyond the loans. Our 16-week entrepreneur workshop is the core of what we do, helping folks develop their business ideas and businesses. Our mentor and financial management programs help folks kind of continue to develop their skills to get that support they need as they're growing their businesses. And as we've served more and more clients over the years, we've had 397 graduates of the workshop to date. So we'll cross 400 this June. We've needed to expand our team. And so also last year in 2019, we added 2 new staff members, which have given us more capacity to help our existing clients, as well as to think about what are our future programs and so forth look like. So 2019 was a crazy year and a great year for us for CIC. As we kind of moved into January of this year, the biggest change that we had at CIC was another expansion where we took over as host of the Central Virginia Small Business Development Center. For those of you who might not be familiar, SBDCs, as they're called, exist all over the state and country. They've been around for about 40 years. Ours was hosted at another institution up until January, and they reached out late last year if we were interested in working with them and potentially taking over as their fiscal host and fiscal host, meaning their team becomes a part of our team, and we did that. It's a great opportunity for both organizations. For CIC, it means that as more of our clients grow, we have even closer access to all of the resources and expertise that SBDCs have, both locally and around the state and nation. So we took that over. They have 1 full-time employee, a couple of part-time employees, and a number of contractors who do business counseling and so forth. And that's been a really big help for some of our clients. And in the COVID pandemic, being so connected to SBDCs meant that we could connect to resources much more quickly to provide assistance to clients throughout our network and the region. We continue to see more loan applications, or did up until the kind of pandemic restrictions took hold in March. And we're kind of continuing on our same trajectory. But for the moment with our loans, we've paused our long-term or I shouldn't say long-term, our growth-oriented loans, unless a business is really growing in this environment. We've shifted some of our lending and our work on our loan program to more specific responses to COVID, which I'll hit on in just a second. So, and as I mentioned before, in June, we will graduate our 400th graduate of our program in the last 8 years. So it's been a busy time, as you can see. Just I mentioned our loan program. You can see here kind of the growth in it, and that continues right into 2020. you know, that those numbers are going up significantly. You know, basically each of the last several years doubled, and this happening this year as well. And a lot of it this year is COVID, but we expect even more loans to kind of come into that process as well. There we go. We constantly track the kind of long-term outcomes of our programs and how businesses are creating and sustaining jobs and so forth. And so you can see here kind of the continue each year, the businesses launch, new businesses launch, new businesses operating, as well as the cumulative number of new, jobs that have been created over the years. So that number continues and we track it. Our hope is in the pandemic here that some of the short-term pain that a lot of folks are feeling, that we can help them get back to where they were. It may take several months or longer to get there, but we hope that we can help them kind of restore their businesses to where they were on March 1. And then the kind of the other big metric that we always talk about, for every dollar CIC has spent over the last 8 years, we've helped return to the community $5 in wages from new jobs. So these are entrepreneurs who are creating jobs in their businesses, that are employing people and creating more economic activity throughout the region. So this is kind of the hard data part of what we do. The real work and the thing that we all enjoy the most is the kind of how we've impacted people's lives and helped them kind of build their dreams. And I think that's what hopefully you'll hear a little bit of in just a few minutes. Shifting a little bit just to the pandemic. March obviously changed everything for all of us. And it's, you know, I think all of us are still trying to get our footing on what it's. We did a survey with our clients in March and into April, and you can see kind of a few of the things that they shared in that survey there. Just the savings that they had available to them, the kind of where they were with their business as of March and April, and then the percentage of clients that had at least one employee, as opposed to being just a self-employed business. So kind of just give you a sense of what they shared with us at that point. It's been hard, you know, you'll hear some of it in a few minutes, but it's really hard to be a business owner right now. You don't know, you have to operate in a different way. If you can operate, your customers and clients, they might not want to be out right now. So you have to figure out, can you serve them in a different environment? And we're working hard to try to help folks figure that out and adapt as much as they can. A few of the ways that we've helped folks along the way, we have checked in with nearly all of the clients that have been interested in checking in and to find out what their needs are, how we can help them connect to resources throughout the community. We've hosted a number of webinars or online Zoom meetings and small business circles and other resources to help people think about how they can adapt and change with their business. Our 16-week workshop has moved for the time being entirely online, done via Zoom, just like we're doing here. So they break out into small groups, which you can do with Zoom, and continue on. While it's not quite the same as being there in person, I think we're doing our best to kind of maintain what I think is one of the most valuable parts of our workshop, which is that community that is created. So, and then kind of the other big response that we've had in the last few weeks is the recovery funds. Starting with the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County created the Business Recovery Fund. Together, they put in $300,000 to help make small loans up to $10,000 for businesses. The idea was that businesses who might have not been able to access the Paycheck Protection Program or other federal or state programs would have another opportunity to kind of get some of the capital they need to sustain and think about how to recapitalize as they've spent down their savings. So we have just completed round 1 of those loans and done the first $300,000. A few weeks ago, we announced that we had secured a private investment of $300,000, so essentially doubling the size of that fund. So, and after doing $800,000 in loans over 8 years, we're going to do about $700,000 in loans in about 8 weeks with CIC. And so that's really stretched our team, and they've done incredible work. And moving our applications online, doing everything virtually and remotely, and helping clients access the capital they need so that they can sustain their businesses. So all of those have been part of our response. We've tried to keep at our core that our goal is to help folks that might get left behind otherwise. We can help folks connect to each other and help folks learn what they need to kind of sustain and reimagine their businesses.